Hey, we're Attention Horse Comedy for nerds, and we are all here, and we're at home like all of you, as you should be. And we're going to be going over our top 5 favorite video games of all time. My name is Dusty Cagle, and also,
I'm Pat McLeod, and to my left, possibly, is.
Oh man, no, it was so close. It was because you're next to Dusty for me. No, yeah, I'm repeater. Hello.
Well, also, I think because I'm the one recording, whatever I point, my arrangement is what the good people are going to see. So you're right there. Deal with it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what are you guys playing right now? What's your quarantine game?
Right now I'm playing the God of War from like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time. It's pretty dope. It's long. I can tell already.
Now that's the one they've remade it like twice. Should I play it now or just wait for the next remake?
Oh man, it's wait for it. I don't know. I don't know why I waited this long for it, but it's pretty awesome, but like frustrating as shit sometimes.
is it because the little kid?
Yes,
Dude,
yeah,
I knew it.
It's confirmed me never having children.
I mean, is the whole game like? Is it an escort mission type game?
Kind of. But I mean, your son can't be really that hurt. He just like shoots arrows and shit. But he like finds out he's like also a god and gets like real fucking high and mighty about it and just murders people. And you're like, bro, you can't do that. And he's like, but I'm gonna start listening to Evanescence and hanging out in my room. And you're like, fuck, dude, I never want one of these. Sorry, I said the word we're supposed to not say.
Hey,
Spoiler free.
Yeah, like right out of the gate. Well, that was me at Comic-Con where I still love. What I love is that I didn't get why you were getting angry. I was cussing and you were like, oh, and I'm like, he must be mad about my hair.
I thought, yeah, she was just like, hello, god damn it, or something. It was just like.
Dusty, what are you playing?
Right now, I've been playing Final Fantasy 15. Finally got up on that. Pretty good game. Really good. It's the newest Final Fantasy I've played since part 10. I haven't played 11 through 15. And my favorite has actually been Friday the 13th. That's a really fun-ass game. Give it that there's no DLC or anything because of legal constructs. But other than that, Friday the 13th is a love letter from some dedicated fans. Like, that's a good-ass game.
Cool. Because I had heard mixed reviews, so I'm glad it found an audience in you.
Thank you.
I am.
What about you? What you playing, man?
I just got Celeste, which is this indie platformer game. Hard as shit. Like, have you ever played Super Meat Boy?
Yes.
It's like familiar, but it's still like, what? That's real?
Yeah, it's like Super Meat Boy hard?
Yeah, it's that level of hard. But here's what I like about both games is it's one of those games where when you die, you immediately are back in the action. So you can die 70 times in a minute on a hard level, but because it keeps resetting, you've got endless lives, it doesn't feel, there's no lag, there's no drag, there's no time to mourn the loss. Plus, it's pixely in a good way, and it's got a really cute story. So
nice. What's it called again?
Celeste.
Okay.
I don't know if you don't play games with female leads. Yeah. I don't.
I mean, you're playing.
There's America, goddammit. I don't.
Probably a game you've never heard of.
Yeah. All right. Well, awesome. Let's do this. Let's do this top 5.
All right. You go first, Pat. What is one of your favorite video games?
Okay, let me pull up my list so I get the order. Yeah, my number 5 game of all time is Banjo-Tooie.
Nice. 64?
64, yeah. That's like if you ever played the Banjo-Kazooie and this was the second one, which sort of made everything a little better. They tweaked it. Like, I know this is really professional. I got to go put Vigo away because he's being really fucking loud.
Oh, they have that loud ass baby.
It's
You're-
live TV. Anything can happen. But no, here's why I included the game is because I was gonna put Mario 64 because I love Mario 64, but this one is it's the same thing but technically better. The graphics are just a little better, if you can believe that. I mean, it came out a few years later, so people had time to learn how the N64. Plus, it's Rare. It's the studio that made a whole bunch of really good shit. But this was, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Donkey Kong. Did Rare do Donkey Kong Country? I know they did Donkey Kong 64, which we've already said wasn't good, but
Rare did Super
the Country trilogy.
Yeah.
Country's great.
So yeah, it does, like, the controls are a little better. You have more moves. It's everything Mario 64 is, just a better version of all those.
Nice. Yeah, that is a good game. I remember that being good, and Banjo-Kazooie being, like, top notch and like a really good rival to Mario 64 because it's original. Like, we've had Mario for 15 years before 64 got here or longer, and then Banjo-Kazooie came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I guess it was competing with what's the dude from PS1? They're the guy.
Crash Bandicoot.
Right.
Yes, Crash Bandicoot. And
Except this was more open world, and I think Crash, you kind of, if I'm remembering correctly, you kind of progressed across
You
a
went
level.
stage to stage, I want to say.
Plus, I never liked that character. So good choice, man. Really good choice. Reed, what is your selection for number 5?
Oh man, can like mine not really be? I couldn't order mine. Like, I was stressing out just making this list.
Jesus, Reed, we've been talking about this for days.
I know we've been talking. It's
And also,
occupied.
you could just say one, and like, if there's no order, then whichever one you say, that's number 5. You didn't need to tell us you were struggling.
Okay. All right. There's like one game
There was
that.
no order.
Go
ahead.
Just wanted it announced. No, there's one game that, like, I'm talking like arcade cabinet. Like, if I go to an arcade, it's there. I'm like playing it, and it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Turtles in Time.
Yes.
That's just classic. Maybe my favorite side-scrolling beat 'em up of all time. It looks great. They did like an Xbox 360 reboot that looked amazing. Also, a couple years ago. It's hard. Ooh, nice. Is that?
You're
Elliot,
right.
Billy Elliot.
You're right. It's Sterling Marlin. I knew you would guess it, but it's Sterling Marlin, my favorite.
I'm also
face with
drinking
the
out of a. I'm also drinking out of an X jelly jar. It's also jelly.
That's all we got these days. My favorite part of that game is where you could actually throw bad guys to the screen.
At the screen, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's such a good fucking because there's always like that like kind of third combo move.
Yeah.
That's such a good like finishing part of a combo, and just throwing foot soldiers.
And you actually learn about history by going back in time.
You do. I knew nothing about the Battle of Wounded Knee until I played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Turtles in Time.
Oh, exactly.
Like that one level in the concentration camp, that was not okay. You fought Baxter Stockman in Dachau. That was.
Yeah, it's like the Baxter Stockman in like striped pajamas. Like, he's just like a fly man wearing like striped pajamas.
I played the shit out of that game.
I rarely got to the end. I would do it when it came out on Xbox, but like it cost me a lot of money to just keep.
Right. No, I love
doing it.
that game because I hate quarters.
Yeah, exactly.
I like, how can I get rid of this stack this thick in about 9 minutes? So
Yeah, I remember playing it on Super Nintendo. I mean, obviously back then Super Nintendo wasn't as good as like the arcade, but
Right.
it was actually a really good like substitute. Saved you a bunch of quarters. I mean, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
I was a kid, so I didn't have to buy it. It was my cousin's lucky bastard, Corey.
The thing was, I rented it, so it was just like a bunch of rental fees every time I wanted to play it, pretty much.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like my choice of, this is my last thing to say, it's like seeing your choice of characters change as you grow. Because I grew up just a Michelangelo dude. You know, I played in my teens. I was Raphael, and like now I'm Donatello. I haven't become Leonardo yet. I'm not fully responsible.
Yeah, but you're working your way up the ladder of turtle ladder. Yeah.
Yeah, like Donatello does his taxes. You know, I'm there.
Yeah. Good choice. Good choice. My number 5 choice is a kind of a obscure, rare game. I'd call it rare, I guess, but it's called Brigandine, which is it came out for PlayStation 1. And when I was a kid, I saw it because it looked cool. And when I bought it, I tried to play it. I didn't understand it. I was too young. Tried to take it back. Couldn't get my money back. So I just had to learn how to play it. Well, it turns out it's one of the most fun strategy games of all time. Just a short synopsis. There's 5 kingdoms that are fighting after each other. You choose a kingdom, and your whole goal is to try to take over the other kingdoms in a strategy type fighting style. So if you have like a flying type guy, they can go further. If you have a walking type guy, you can go a little ways. It's a kick-ass game. It's one of those games where we're not going to have a lot to talk about because I doubt you guys have played it. Because
it's called Burgundy. What's going? It's
Burger.
I had to look it up. It's called Brigandine. It's a stupid. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why nobody else has played the damn piece of shit because it's got a horrible name. What a horrible name! It might as well have called it Mulch.
Are you sure you're not playing like a concentration camp game? That's what that sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, it does. But it's a good turn-based strategy game that taught me how to take over kingdoms one by one by one. What's that game, Pat, that you let me borrow with that group of games called Archon?
Archon.
Is it called Okay, it's like Archon, right? But for the PlayStation 1, if that makes sense.
That does. No, in that case, I'm down, and I could probably I'll get that on emulation in the next week or so. Give that a try.
I guarantee it. I mean, but for a PS1, the graphics were good, but overall, you get to level your guys. So if you kill, you start off as like a low, like just a regular dragon. You kill a good guy, a big guy. You
start out in the mailroom, but eventually you become like the dragon CEO.
Yes, yeah. Leviathan, yeah, Leviathan.
You your way to the top. You fuck everybody in the organization, and eventually you have a pile of cocaine that you stick your face in, and
that's when you win the game. Yes, when you OD. All right, so Pat, what is when you're done drinking your cider? What's your next choice?
Yeah, boy.
Okay, I don't have a lot of like indie titles on here. You like my little ironic, like Guacamelee 2. Weirdly enough, I have a lot of part 2s on my list. Guacamelee 2, and again, this was my reasoning, is I had to have a Metroidvania because that's just such a fun genre. And I was going to put Symphony of the Night, the Castlevania game. But again, this one came out 2 years ago. And it's first of all, you are a luchador wrestler who can turn into a chicken. I don't need to say anything else. That's it. That it's a Metroidvania in which you use luchador moves and also transform into a chicken.
Not at the same time, I imagine, because like you can't you're a luchador that you turn into a chicken that has hollow bones. I feel like you shouldn't continue doing wrestling moves.
Well, the chicken actually has his own fighting move set.
Oh, oh, does it throw eggs like a Yoshi situation?
And regular fights. But also it's a funny game, which it's so hard to find a funny video game.
True.
Yeah.
True. I think, as I've been playing like a ton of games, I've been like, this is just like kind of emotionally taxing, all of this. Like I'm having a good time, but this is emotions.
Yeah. So.
That's pretty cool. I thought maybe you turned to the chicken to get into like smaller spaces, kind of a
you
thing.
do,
Like how
but once you're in those spaces, it's not just a way to get places. It's well developed.
Nice.
So
did you find that in Korea, or is that an American game, or?
Yeah, no, it's you can get it on your PS4. It's again, it's on every system. It's what are we? Are you hypnotizing me?
I'm just a little drunk playing with a pen.
Okay, I'm already in love with you. I don't know what you think is going to happen. I'm there.
That's a good choice. Name it again so I can write it down real quick.
Guacamelee. Well, I mean, both of them really. Both of them are almost equally good. The second one is just a little better.
I wrote Guacamole too.
I just did scribbles in hope that I can read them in the morning.
I'll still exist in the morning, and also this video. There will be a record. You don't need to write it down. I swear to God, I'll upload this time. I will.
So far, there's no records. This is sad.
Yeah.
All right.
Reed, what you got?
What you got, baby?
So, I was talking about, movie tie-in games earlier, and, I really didn't want to burn this one if we were going to do that later, but, I might have to because it is one of my favorite games of all time. It's Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 2.
Yes.
Nice.
I almost put that on my list, for real.
Fuck yeah, dude. It's it was the first real kind of superhero-y open world experience that made you really feel like Spider-Man.
Yeah, the controls were so tight.
You could just go to the top of the Empire State Building and just jump.
Yeah.
And just swing, and it was just super fun. I thought what they added to the actual Raimi verse Spider-Man was good as far as the storyline. It was pretty cool, Mysterio and Vulture.
Well, and during that time, there were so many Spider-Man games coming out, and from the past.
Great too.
Yeah, they are. There's some really good ones. I played a lot of good demo disc Spider-Man games, but Part 2, I feel like they really got their shit together, and we got the mechanics down of a open world slinging, able to go through. You feel like you're in a metropolis and you're able to get through it in the way the Spider-Man would.
Oh, totally. And you just come upon muggings and just beat up people.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, well, I'm on my way. And that's I hadn't been able to feel that. I wanted that. I didn't know how badly I wanted it. I didn't know, because you guys ever try to Spider-Man your way through door frames? You're just kind of grab the edge out and you're like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Do a
Try to
flip.
slink through. Yeah.
Yeah, it scratched that primordial itch I had.
Did you play the Ultimate game?
Oh yeah, is that the one where it was kind of the Mark Bagley?
Yeah.
I never got to play that, but I heard it was pretty good.
It was pretty good, but 2 was still better.
Okay. I mean, like the most recent one, like that was solid. It's just that never would happen if it was that Spider-Man 2 game.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of had to come. But yeah.
Dusty, what you got?
Mine coming up is actually a arcade, which I actually brought to the home because I loved it so much. Crazy, don't make fun of me. Dance Dance Revolution.
Ooh, no, I think
Any version.
You say don't make fun of you or make all the fun of you?
Not in front of all our fans, but Dance Dance Revolution, no shit, man. I fell in love with it the minute that I saw it in the arcade. And I remember as a child, I was like, man, I have got to, get this at home. So at one time I owned 3 dance pads, Dance Revolution pads, 3 different ones. 3. All right. One was wireless and one was so I could play 2. And the problem is nobody else ever wanted to play. So it was just me playing 2-player by myself. And
you were jumping like in between different D-pads.
Yes,
like,
yes. I was trying to lose weight when I was a teenager.
Oh, I bet. Like that's P90X, pre-P90X, man.
And in my head, I was like, I am going to dance these pounds away. I am going to dance my way into America's heart. And the big day came in high school where we had like a big field day, and the video game club brought their own personal DDR pads. I mean, like they had metal around them, like they really did their shit. And I was like, this is my chance to show these fuckers, right? And they mopped the floor with my ass. They destroyed me. They destroyed me in front of 5 people.
This is your supervillain origin story. That's what
made me evil. That's why everybody calls me Evil Abed Dusty. So that's everybody knows that. But I really do have like a really firm, like anytime I see an arcade, I have to play a game or two just personally, not to show off because I'm not that good, but just to show that I could do. I just enjoyed that game. I thought it was a really neat idea. So DDR. That's what it was.
Guitar Hero with your feet.
Yes. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
By the way, the rest of my games are all different Guitar Hero games. You can just skip me out if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Pat, what you got, babe?
Number 3, Miss Pac-Man.
Oh, nice.
Good.
Okay, good. Yeah, I remember that being the first arcade game that I could get 20 minutes off a single quarter. Like I could really, if I was in the zone, I wouldn't die. And it was so well designed. I love when I find, like, usually if you see them out in the wild, you give it a try, and at like 80% of the time the controller's all janky and it just doesn't work.
Right.
But occasionally, even now in 2020, you'll find one that will actually just you'll get back in the zone. And there's something about it that's just medicinal for me. I don't know.
I think one of the first times that me and you connected, Pat, was at Johnny and June's in Winston-Salem, and we had to open for this guy who pretended to be drunk, who wasn't drunk, which pissed me off. But before then, we played.
Like magicians.
Well, he acted like he was slosh drunk, and I watched the motherfucker walk. I mean, I watched the gentleman walk in and not drink a single drop, and then act like he was sloshed. I was so pissed off about that, but that's another story. But me and you, Pat, played the shit out of Mrs. Pac-Man, and maybe even Dig Dug and some other stuff because they had a multicade there. Yeah. And that's when I think I'm gonna love Pat McLeod forever.
That's awesome.
There we go. That's our super friend origin story.
Yeah, that's how it all started.
Reed, what you got?
I concur. Miss Pac-Man's way better than the normal Pac-Man. All right. it doesn't matter. Or what am I thinking? This game, I'm judging this also by how much time I put into stuff and like how like not sleeping at nights, and I lost a lot of sleep to Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Yeah.
PlayStation 2. Again, I'm just jerking off Activision under the table, pretty much. But like, no, because like, God, dude, you got to unlock Spider-Man at the end of it. It's like the best Tony Hawk game, I think, but also you get to skateboard as Spider-Man. It like once you beat it or whatever, it was great. I'm so stoked they're like remastering it or whatever. It's like where a lot of my taste in music came from. Also, like it's hugely important in me, like getting into like Primus or like Black Flag or like any like fucking music I listen to now. Metallica. I remember like Whiplash was on one of the, and that became my favorite band of all time, and that was like my first favorite band. So yeah, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Oh, that was great, man. Great soundtrack. Great design. Anything else after that kind of just was keep up, trying to catch up to that level that they set before too.
Yeah, like Skate, and then like all the other knockoffs.
Man, Grind. I used to play the shit out of Grind. Grind was a good damn game. It wasn't a Tony Hawk, but it was the closest thing I'd found to a Tony Hawk at the time. Yeah, that was phenomenal. How we doing on time, Pat?
We got about 9 minutes left, so we're going to streamline this a bit more. But what you got, Dusty?
All right. For my part 3, I'm going to go with a Super Nintendo classic that I didn't find till later in life, Secret of Mana. Secret of Mana is just everything that I've ever loved in an RPG and also a platformer, like mixed together in the most perfect way. I couldn't ask more out of this game other than more of the game.
Right.
The colors, the characters, everything. I've never played with the AI in a game that actually played with me in a way that I was like, I'm not too pissed off about it. It wasn't, the AI isn't perfect, but at the same time, you can set them to where they do. I said do.
Sorry.
I'm never too old not to say that. But it really is a classic that I am so glad that I didn't get to play child, that I could play as a young, very young 19-year-old man.
Nice. Yeah, no, right. I have a lot of love for that game too. And I think, wasn't it sort of an offshoot of Final Fantasy Adventure for Game Boy?
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that. It's right there at it.
They're both Squaresoft, right?
Yes, that is. Yeah, it's a Squaresoft. Way before the whole Square Inc. thing goes on, but it really is like a gem. I mean, it was a hard choice between that and Final Fantasy 3, which is, American Final Fantasy 3. But out of the two, I'm going to have to go with Secret of Mana just because of the abilities and stuff like that you can play with. And it's, I don't know. I mean, it's a good feeling. Not just that, but the soundtrack. I love, game music. So
yeah.
Right.
Cool. I'm not going to say a lot about my number 2 just because so much has been, even we've said a bunch about it. It's just the original Super Mario Brothers. That's my favorite of the Mario games, and it's my number 2 favorite game of all games. I've still got the original Nintendo. I still plug it up probably once a month and just run through the game just because it feels good. Reed, what you got for your number 2?
My number 2 is I didn't want to just rely entirely on nostalgia, so like I put The Witcher 3 as my number 2. It's great. I mean, great value. I bought it for $15, and like I feel like I played it for like the gestation period of a baby. Like it was just 9 months. I feel like I played The Witcher 3 pretty steady. And I don't. It's probably the greatest RPG I've ever played. I think that the decision, the dichotomy of the decision making, you can really fuck yourself up. I don't know. I've never really cared about like, oh, you got to do this or this, or else this will happen. I don't know, like a personal level, but it was like, oh man, I really shouldn't have turned that guy like from a tree into a person again. He was like a terrible rapist. That was a bad
He was a
call.
better tree than he was a person.
Yes, he was. And that was my dad. Everybody, bad Witcher move. Witcher party foul.
Right.
Yeah. Witcher 3.
Dusty, what's your number 2?
Well, shit. Quick. I'm going to go with Toe Jam and Earl. I love Toe Jam and Earl. So much so, I'm going to have to say it is the perfect drunk stoner game of all time. You're in no true hurry per se, and if you don't play the unlimited worlds, you'll eventually beat the game. And it's just, I love it. It's a fun party game. Like by party, I mean 2 people. And I just feel like it's one of those games that was made when it was made, and it hasn't been duplicated since. Even the redos. But Toe Jam and Earl, I love that game. That's a phenomenal game that I didn't get into till I was older. Yeah.
Cool. I think we actually timed this right. We've got exactly 3 minutes left, so we each get a minute on our number 1 game. My number. By the way, I should say I knew my number 1 game as soon as I had the idea to do this video. I was like, "This is the others I had to figure out." And Dusty, I've talked to you about this game before countless times. The Binding of Isaac, Afterbirth Plus.
Like I noticed.
Yeah. I've got like multiple Isaac shirts. I checked on Steam. In fact, let me see where I am in terms of how many hours I have played this game, because I know it's going to be depressing. Let's see. This is how I use my time now. Actually, what's funny is I don't think I can. It's easily, I can't pull it up now. It's easily over 1,000.
Damn.
Wow.
I like my plan once the world gets normal again is I want to get an Isaac tattoo. Like it's a roguelite, randomly generated. Every single time I turn it on, everything is different. And
True.
No game has grabbed me more than that ever. Reed, what you got?
All right. So like this actually I'm changing right now, because I was gonna say Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and like that's not fair, because there's not a game I played more than Batman Arkham Asylum.
I almost put that on there. And not even Arkham City, not Arkham Knight, Asylum. That's
I knew you were going to choose that. Yeah, good choice.
Like,
I knew you were going to choose that.
City for the open world aspect of it. Like that's really cool that now you can kind of fly from wherever to where. But like it's almost better being stuck in Arkham. Like it's
a better game, period.
Yeah. There's these little just the Easter eggs that you find that like are just so immersed in the history of Batman, and like it's Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, and that's my favorite thing.
Yeah, definitely. Dusty, hit it.
Perfect. My favorite game in my lifetime so far is Final Fantasy IX. I was going to choose Final Fantasy VII, but I'm going to have to go with 9 because I was a little bit older when I played it, and there is something so special about that game. It's got the fantasy, you got the side quests, you got the side stories, and everything like that. It's a very underlooked game of the Final Fantasy world and franchise that I wish a lot of people would go back and kind of enjoy a little bit more. But it was the greatest PlayStation 1 technology of all time at the time, and it was the last of the PlayStation 1, and honestly, it's my favorite. It's got everything it wants. Perfect.
All right. That's it.
All right.
We did it. All right. I'm
We
going to
did it,
post this
guys.
tonight. Bye, guys.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
brother.
Love you.